feels good, folks. You ever have puffy eyes? Put one of these on. Oh, it's the best. Mended Light. Welcome to video 3 of 3 on Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. We've been exploring loving somebody and understanding them and taking their perspective and seeing what they need. Loving somebody with mental illness. Today we're going to address the now iconic under the bed scenes of Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. So King George wrestles with psychosis. And he loves looking through his telescope at the heavens, right? And looking at the stars and looking at the planets. And because he fixates so much on that, because he loves it so much, his psychosis attaches to that. And he starts to talk to Venus. And he cannot tell where his life begins and the heavens begin. Like, it all just kind of blends together. And that's his way of saying, when he talks about in a previous video, like worlds colliding, right? Worlds collide inside my brain and I can't keep things straight. He's talking about feeling overwhelmed with anxiety and overwhelmed with fear and overwhelmed by not knowing what's real. So he was meant to go speak to Parliament. And it was very important in order for him to retain his throne that he go and he address Parliament, because he had been basically on sabbatical, a mental health sabbatical for months. And this being the 1800s, there's no understanding or compassion for mental health. He fears that if Parliament knows that the king is mad, that they'll kick him off the throne. So he goes to Parliament to address them, and Charlotte helps him to prepare, and he's going to go face them, and he's going to be strong, and he's got a speech all prepared, and then he has a panic attack, and he has total anxiety, and he can't even get out of the carriage when they arrive. Right? They're all in there waiting for him. He just can't. So Charlotte hears of this, of course, and she goes to be there for him, and she can't find him. She sees that he's under the bed. Why under the bed? Let's take a look. Hello, friends. Let's talk about something that's affected all of our lives. 1 in 5 children in the U.S. is sexually abused before the age of 18. So that's either you, someone you love, or both. We're grateful to tell you all about Supriya. This is a non-profit organization that exists to liberate individuals and society from child sexual abuse and its lasting impacts. Supriya empowers healing for individuals who were sexually abused as children or adolescents. They do that through retreats, support groups, and online resources. All of these are offered free of charge thanks to the generosity of Supriya's donors. Let me tell you about their healing support groups. These are led by survivors for survivors. Supriya provides materials and guidelines to offer emotional safety, confidentiality, and create the optimal environment for healing. In a support group, survivors can participate in sharing feelings about triumphs or challenges, offering support and understanding, learning strategies for managing trauma symptoms, setting intentions and identifying goals, and personal reflection. Supriya support groups are available in 11 different countries. I encourage you to take advantage of this free resource and to share it with those who could use it. Click the link below to learn more about Supriya's healing support groups and see if they're a fit for you.
George? George, it is me.
Charlotte?
Yes? Reynolds told me what happened. I am here. George? George, where are you?
I'm sorry.
This is his spot.
George, dearest, can you come out for me?
I want to, but I cannot. The heavens, they cannot find me under here. I am hiding.
When he's out from underneath the bed, he can see the night sky, he can see all the different things, and he gets overstimulated, right? So he goes under the bed. There's the floor, there's the bottom of the bed. There's nothing to overwhelm him, and he can think clearly, right? So that's where he goes to think. That's his safe place. What is your safe place? Where do you engage in self-care? What helps you to get centered when life is overwhelming and you are flooded with emotion or with thoughts? Do you have a spot? And if not, Could you think of one? Could you pick one?
You are hiding from the heavens.
They are thwarted under here.
George, all is well.
No. All is very, very wrong.
Tell me.
I could not get out of the carriage. I could not even read the words on the page. I'm not a king. I'm no one's king.
You will do better next time.
No. There is no better. There is no cure. This is who I am.
There is no better. There is no cure. I'm no one's king. He's in his dark place, his hopeless place. And yet, it's true. Not that he's no one's king, but there is no better. There is no cure. I have chronic mental illness. This is what my life is going to look like. He is dealing with truth, and that truth is a hard truth to deal with. And I love her response.
I will be here sometimes, and sometimes I will be. You can leave me. I would understand, and I would let you go.
George, I will not leave you.
Should.
I will not.
You have half a husband, Charlotte. Half a life. I cannot give you the future that you deserve. Not a full me. Not a full marriage. Only half. Half a man. Half a king. Half a life.
If what we have is half, then we shall make it the very best half. I love you. It is enough. I am your queen. And as long as I am so, I shall never leave your side. You are king. You will be king. Your children will rule. Together, we are whole.
So awesome. If all we have is half, then we shall make it the very best half. Her optimism is not naivety, right? Like Wayman in Everything Everywhere All at Once, he says that my optimism, my kindness, this is strategic and necessary. This is how I deal with the heaviness and the hardness and the darkness of life. And so when she says things like, we will make the very best half of it, I'm not going to leave you, I am your queen, you are my king, and we're going to have the best half of life that we can have, she knows exactly what she's saying. This is not a platitude that she's expressing to comfort herself while harboring doubts. She is resolutely and with strength facing head on exactly what's in front of her. And that is powerful.
It is quite dust-filled under here.
It really is.
I am so sorry that I did not give you a choice. That I did not tell you the truth of who I was before we wed.
You did tell me the truth. You said you were just George. That is who you are. Half king, half farmer, but always just George. That is all you need to be.
I do not know how to repair what happened at Parliament. I fear it will overtake my crown.
If the crown cannot go to Parliament, we shall bring Parliament to the crown. Perhaps it is time we opened up the doors to Buckingham House.
There's always a solution. It may not be the solution that you're wanting or hoping for, and it may not lead to the outcomes that you exactly want, but there's always something you can do. And I love that Charlotte is always thinking, right? She's saying, okay, we're going to do it a different way, right? If you can't go to Parliament, we'll bring Parliament to you. So, question for you in your relationships or as you're pondering future relationships, how will you show up this way? How do you want someone else to show up this way for you? What does that look like? Now, later on, this is decades later, and Charlotte's been desperately trying to get her kids to produce a legitimate heir. Her sons are kind of playboys, and they're sleeping around, so they've got a lot of bastard children. And I'm not saying that disparagingly. It's just the literal term, right? For that era, these children born out of wedlock, so they're not royal heirs. She needs her sons or to marry someone of the royal bloodline so that they can have an heir to be heir to the crown, or for her daughters to get it done. And she's really, really stressed about it. And finally happens, right? And a grandchild is born, and Charlotte wants to share that with George. When he says, I'm only here half the time, as he gets older, he's only here a third of the time or a quarter of the time. He spends most of the time in his psychosis. But she goes to tell him the good news anyway, and this happens.
I have some news, George. Wonderful news. George? George?
To there. There.
Just George. Farmer George. Come. Hide from the heavens with me.
Charlotte. Why, hello.
Hello, George.
It is quiet here.
George, we have succeeded. Our son, Edward, he has married and his wife is with child.
Edward is going to be a father.
Yes. Your line will live on.
Our line.
Our line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, guys. That's just beautiful.
Fancy meeting you here. You did not go over the wall.
He tried to escape at the beginning, before they got married.
No, George. I did not go over the wall.
The cutting between the older versions and the younger versions, that's really cool. So again, where's your under the bed place? And who's your under the bed person? Does not have to be a romantic partnership. Does not have to be the person you're married to, the person you're dating. A lot of us find comfort and strength in those relationships, but it can be family, it can be friends. Honestly, it can be you. And I don't mean that as like a weak sauce consolation prize. I mean that as you can be your under the bed person. And that's honestly the only thing you can 100% rely on in this life. I show a lot of clips when we were doing this Queen Charlotte series about Charlotte and George, but a lot of the story is also Charlotte and Charlotte. When he's in a psychotic episode, when he's not fully present, when she is on her own, the strength that she finds in loving herself. It's interesting, in a previous conversation she says, "Tell me you do not love me and I will go back to Buckingham House and I will raise our child and I will fill my days and I will do it alone. But first you have to tell me that I am utterly alone in this world." And she's not. But as he says, you're only half supported. You're only half alone. I'm only here half of the time. And she finds power and strength in herself to fill the days, to face the days, to raise her family. And he does what he can. It's a beautiful story of like kind of that middle ground between, yay, I found my person I could spend my days with, and what if I don't? She has both. And our strength to love others starts with our strength to love ourselves. Our strength to be there for others starts with taking care of ourselves and recognizing that we are worthy of love. And to me, that is one of the messages of Queen Charlotte. So again, where is your under the bed place? Where do you go for peace, for calm, for clarity? I actually want to know. Let us know in the comments below. Do you have an under the bed person, or is it you? And if it is, that's wonderful. Let us know in the comments below. If you are wanting to guide yourself towards greater mental health and emotional well-being, we've got a membership site with video courses, podcasts, live Q&As, new content every week on that membership site. You can try it for just $1 by clicking the link below. If you've enjoyed this Bridgerton video, we've got a whole series. Another one is going to pop up right here. There it is. Check that action out. Until next time, folks, keep shining because we need your light.